Again, it's one of those things where it could go either way, which kind of, it's Schrodinger's cat, but in a man. Schrodinger's March. He can either be good or either be bad, but we don't know, so he's both at the same time.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 132 of Purple Hyacinth Safe Secret with Bundin.
Hello.
Yep. Bundin and I just spent a lot of time with each other because we just did all 4 episodes of In the Bleak Winter yesterday.
Yeah, that was great. I'm really happy it's back. I keep forgetting to read it with the music on, but I again had no time today. It's probably after this I'll go and read the whole thing again with the music.
Yeah, I read it again like a couple of times because I was writing the summary this morning, and then I read it again just to, like, write comments, but I didn't turn the music on. So. Yeah. All right. So speaking of Hyacinth, we open up with the archives, and guess who's in the archives now? Not Lauren, not Kieran. It's Will.
I low-key wanted Kieran to like roll up and then him and Will to have like bonding and be like, bro, but you know that wouldn't have worked. Like, you know, they have the plot that they need to do, but it's like, I want bonding time between all of the main 4.
Interacted. Did they interact? Will and
they've interacted a couple times. That's the thing, but they've never interacted one-on-one, and I want that.
Dang.
And like I thought, I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna show up, but then I was like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
So it's tense.
In his solitary self, and he's researching Thalia Lune, which is good for him. I'm glad that he's like pursuing what he, heard about. And he says she isn't in any death record of XX16. Which I'm like, frankly, Will, you should be looking a little broader, look a little before, a little after, but okay. And he drops down to the floor. He looks dejected. He's slumped over, he looks sad, and he like, snuffles his hair and puts his forehead on his hand. He's so sad.
He looks like me when I had to have assignments done. And it was 3 a.m. and I'm still working on it. That's the mood he's giving. It's very relatable.
Yeah. And I mean, this whole episode, we'll see more, but Will is much more emotional in this whole episode. Usually he's very stoic, he's very self-possessed, he's very calm, he's in control. And this whole episode, he's much more loose and open and vulnerable.
Yeah, I think he's kind of he's just tired of things like, having to be a certain way or like having to do things for other people or like anything. And I think he's talking to Naira, I think, and them kind of having that moment, and then his brother coming back to his life, all of that kind of allowing him to kind of let go a bit. And I found reading this episode, it felt a lot like early season, like back when we were a lot more in the police station with Lauren, Kim, Will. And I liked that we got like a bit more of that as well, because then you have a little bit of March in it, a little bit of Hermit, and like, I don't know, it gave me very season 1 vibes, and that was like kind of nice to see that they're still like fundamentally the same people and it's the same thing, but it's like, so much has changed since then. So I don't know.
Vintage PH.
Yeah, classic PH.
So now we're in the ABD office. And by the way, it's legit always 6:30 there. Like 6:30 at night, 6:30 in the morning.
Soph is not changing the clock. Honestly, she does so much. I don't blame her if that's the case.
Lauren is filling out the deposition form, and Will's like, "Good morning, Lauren." And that's when I looked at the clock and I'm like, these people are in unreasonably early. And then I just remembered it's always 6:30. So yeah, I am not at my desk at 6:30 in the morning. Oh no.
I'm not even at my desk at work. I work from home now. I've been trying to be at my desk, but it's a certain point, the bed is just right there. Mm-hmm. Why not be on a Zoom meeting in your bed? But still pay attention.
Yes, I definitely work from bed a lot. And he is yawning, and he like managed to get some sleep last night. He has this big cup of coffee. And he looks, he's not put together. Even his physical appearance, his vest is open, his shirt is like, his shirt collar is up, his shirt is unbuttoned on top, his hand sleeves are rolled up. I mean, he does not look like his usual, buttoned up, literally Will.
Yeah, well, we know that Will, like Lauren, can be kind of an insomniac too, but I don't think the man slept. I think he was there all night researching in the archives. And this is him. I also think this is the first time we've seen his uniform in any form of like disheveled. Like we've seen his face and hair disheveled in the uniform, but like at work, he's never had the vest unbuttoned and the sleeves rolled up and the tie pulled and all that stuff. And I like seeing like a bit of that, like, I'm not going to be prim and perfect all of the time, especially after pulling an all-nighter in the archives.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I think even in the factory arc, he was probably more put together, even while under attack.
Yeah, he didn't really get injured in the factory arc. He's the only one of the 4 who didn't get like an injury, because like Kim had her leg get messed up, but like, yeah, maybe just a few like blood stains from other people, but yeah.
Yep. And Lauren smiles. She's like, "More than well, I did, but you certainly didn't." And he continues like, yeah, it's been a long night for everyone, I think. And Lauren, of course, teases him. She's like, "I hope your date wasn't too offended you had to abandon her." Wink, wink. She sounds like me, like crying to get information.
She's acting like how a friend would act. Like if I saw my friend on a date, I'd be like, "So how did it go?" Like, I want all the details.
Yep. And he's like, "Oh, she straight up told me she'd never marry me." But she's like, "Thank you. Why couldn't you tell Kim the same thing?"
Well, a lady had just died. But, we understand. Also, for the drama of the miscommunication trope, which is frustrating and I hate, but...
Now the question is, how long is it going to drag on? Is Lauren ever going to tell Kim, or is it going to be like 50 episodes later when Kim is confronting Will? She's like, "Blah, blah, blah, you're going to marry Naira." And he's like, "No, I'm not."
I low-key think she's gonna see Naira and Bella together at one point and be like, "Will, your girl, I saw her with another beautiful woman." I think I've said this before. She's like, "I saw you with another beautiful woman." He's like, "Oh, nice. Good for her." Kim will be like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, she's gay." And then Kim's like, "You knew?" Like, that would be just a really funny interaction, I think. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to happen, but
I remember the episodes of Let's Play, so Mangi likes to break the fourth wall a lot. So there was some situation where there could have been miscommunication, and then Mangi had the characters just like tell each other right away, like the truth. And then one character just says randomly, she's like, "You mean we're not going to have like miscommunication that's going to drag on for several episodes?" The other character was like, "Nope." Because that's her, like, she breaks the fourth wall a lot. So yeah, she would make fun of that trope.
Yeah, sounds like this is really like crazy anime that came out like a long time ago that I started watching in college called Ouran High School Host Club. That is a wild show, but the characters break the fourth wall all the time. They'd be like, "Oh right, in the last episode you said this." Like, so I do love if the tone allows for it. I really like that. Or like how in PH they're a bit more subtle with the fourth wall breaks. Like, I don't know, fourth wall breaking can be great.
I don't remember any fourth wall breaks.
It's when Lauren was like, "I haven't eaten anything since season 2."
Right. Yeah.
Or season 1, that blueberry.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lauren's like, "Huh?" And then he proceeds. It looked like he was telling the story, and he continues, "And that's how we became friends. It was a huge relief for the both of us." And he says, "I had a good time with her, honestly. She's easygoing and witty when she knows she can let go of society's pretenses."
He looks so happy. Like, he's just like, "Yeah, like she and I are like besties now. It's great." Like, he's just there with his coffee, looking so relieved that he doesn't have to marry her and that they're on the same page. It's not going to be weird between them anymore. It's like, yes, good for you both.
And when is he going to learn a lesson from her? Take a page out of her book, Will. And he says, "And free, but top of everything, I'm still not over how she jumped on stage." And Laura's like, "I don't think anyone is. Glad none of you were considering getting into an arranged marriage." Yeah, definitely didn't need that. And now Lauren, I appreciate that she asks him, because one of the things that I sometimes feel that these characters have there's so many things going on and so much like just things to worry about that they forget to talk to each other and check in on each other. So I was very happy when she did that. She says, I noticed something's been bothering you. Did anything happen? And I also want to see it because we are told that they're best friends, but it's not enough to just tell us that we're best friends. Like we have to see them actually acting like best friends. So the fact that she's checking in on him and asking him how he's feeling shows us, that they are close.
Yeah, I really like the focus that we've been getting on Will like this season, like how that one really nice moment where he's talking to Lauren, he's like, you could have died and like we wouldn't have known, and he doesn't want to be the last one from their childhood memories, and it just shows how much he cares about her and everything, and he's vulnerable, and but she reassures him. Like I love that. So I like seeing their friendship continue to like pop up, and them showing like that love for each other that they just have, and it's nice. Just nice.
Yeah. So Will sighs and says, "Can't hide anything from my detective best friend, can I?" And looks around and he says, "Yeah, I ran into my brother again. Called my father a murderer." And like he leans in and his face is just very, what's the word? Like not caught off guard, but just different than his usual face. Like usually, like we talked about him being proposed and not proposed. So yeah, unsettled. It's a very unsettled.
Yeah, that's a very good word for it. He's still shaken by what he heard. He spent all nights in the archives trying to find anything about it, because like when you learn a secret or like something, or you hear about something, it like can consume you. It's like just to not know if it's true or not, and he really needs that peace of mind of like, is it true or is it not? Because him being unsure is just kind of driving him crazy, or like it's frustrating to him because he doesn't want his father to be a murderer, but he also knows that his brother abandoned him and did all this stuff very long ago, and he's trying to make sense of it still. So yeah, he's unsettled by it, because even though he knows his dad is kind of terrible, he would have never thought that he would be a murderer, but now he has this idea in his head and he needs to find out the truth.
And he continues like, which I don't know what to make of. And Lauren says, on what basis? And then like, you refused to say, walked away, which, oh my God, Rafael, could you be more aggravating? You can't just drop that bomb on someone and walk away. Oh.
This is why the fandom doesn't like you right now, Rafael. It's one thing to hurt Will and then hurt Kieran and then continue to hurt Will and not give us, the audience, all the information. But you can't do all and expect us to like you still.
Yeah. I can forgive you for one thing, maybe one.
Yeah. Give me one. Honestly, no, I wouldn't give him for snitching on Kieran. No. That's the one that no, but anything else, just one of okay, maybe.
Yeah. And I'd be like, but I'll find out. I always thought my father was the reason Rafael left, but it seems there's more to it. I'm tired of being kept in the dark, always finding out last what's going on. At which point, Lauren makes a very questionable decision to like, should I tell Rafael? He deserves to know. Yeah, I'd rather not be given the blow before we're sure it's him. No, Lauren, tell him. Oh my God.
Okay, so we know, I know there's some debate going on about whether he is the messenger, but like we know he's definitely in the Phantom Scythe if he's going and talking to Redcliffe about this and snitching on the Purple Hyacinth and knowing about the inner workings of the organization. But again, Lauren doesn't know that because she's not seen Kieran yet, so she doesn't know that detail potentially. So it is smarter to wait a bit to not be sure, but it's like, Lauren, you could at least say that maybe you're suspicious, because he's already suspicious that his dad is a murderer. Be like, I'm suspicious that your brother is in the Phantom Scythe, but then again, the not knowing might just make everything worse for him. So
I mean, I agree. I would tell him about my suspicions. Like I would say, this is what we know. This is what we know for sure. And this is what I'm thinking. But like, how is someone your best friend? You're not honest with them. Like, what is the basis
Well,
of your
but
relationship?
remember also she has told him that her partner died. So like her being like, yeah, so we did all this, but we know that there's sus of Kieran low key, but it's like, I guess that would bring things too quickly that is planned for later, but also like maybe she's concerned about that on some level, and doesn't want to give him anything to worry about, because what if he wasn't in the Phantom Scythe and he's just like sus but not doing anything bad? Like,
He's
you
just
never know.
a drug cartel.
Yeah, he's just a carny who like yeah, that's it. He just works with the circus and does some like your typical illegal things that are not part of an organization that is evil and kidnaps children.
Oh, well, I think you're right that it's for plot purposes. I really think that's what the reason is. But on a relationship level, I would be very upset if people lied to me. Like,
And that's probably gonna blow up.
Hmm?
That's probably gonna blow up in the future then if he finds out that she knew. Which she probably will. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, that's it. And we see a view from like kind of beneath Will's face, and his eyes are hidden, so it's like a serious moment. And he says, "A murderer. Seriously, I don't know who to hate more here, my brother or my father," which we agree, we don't know either. Nobody is who they seem to be. Which once again, like he's literally telling you to your face that he's upset that no one's open to him, and you're just continuing to hide things from him. Oh.
Yeah. Like,
You're like, "I'm sorry, Will, if there's anything I can do to help you." Yes, be honest. I won't. Thank you. I need to confront my father myself, which is good. He plans to confront him. That's pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah.
is it the first time he's ever going to confront his father?
Probably. Like, seeing how he acts around his dad, like he's never spoken up against his father's wishes, or if he tries to, his father immediately shuts that down. We've seen them interact, and it's just not good and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that confrontation. I want to see how that goes. But then he says, "But I think I need your detective skills to uncover some details. Of course, just tell me what." But then we don't get to hear what it is because March pops in and he's like, "Morning, guys." And they nod. They're gonna talk to each other later. And he says, "Is the meeting starting, March?" "Precisely. I was just coming to get you guys. By the way, have you heard the news? You look so cute and innocent." Fine.
So sus of this man.
Right? Especially later. But here he looks adorable. He just looks so like nice and kind and sweet.
Despite the face scar, like I bet he got that scar in like Orion and Sons or something. Something happened with the Snapdragon, and he got that scar. We're gonna learn how he got that scar. Yeah. Sorry, my Scott tangent. I just like, because he does look sweet, and everybody's like, he's the dad, and like he's not a good person. So
I never really noticed the scar, but now that we're thinking about him being sus, like I think you're right. It's gonna be explained. And Lauren's like, "That someone was poisoned and suffered a violent death on stage yesterday? Yeah, I vaguely heard about it." He's like, "Oh, what? That? No, that's nothing." Which the nothing part is a lie. But I'm assuming. Do you think it's when he says that's nothing and that's a lie? Do you think that's just like a normal lie, meaning like it's just like a joke kind of, or do you think it's a "ooh, March knows something about the murder and he's involved" kind of lie?
I mean, I think it could be, because I think the authors know that we are sus of this man, so like including things that could have two meanings could be interesting. I think it's just him like going along with the joke, like actually, but the fact that you could think of it as him being like, "Yeah, I know exactly how she died and like who poisoned her and all that," like no, like it could be, which makes it fun, but I don't think it is. But I like that it's an option.
Because Kieran, when he's sarcastic, it doesn't come up as a lie. So the same rule should apply to March.
Oh, true. Very true. Yeah, sarcasm does not show up as lies. So maybe it is.
All right. Well, theory number one. And he tells them Randall finally woke up in the hospital and he's doing all right. Which, by the way, that I feel like that episode was a billion years ago. It's on the cover of my.
I can tell because, like, yeah, I read that came out, I think, at the end of May because I was in an Applebee's with my friend reading it, like, and she and I were there for like $1 drinks, and I was like, shh, I'm reading Purple Hyacinth right now. And I was like, my boy woke up. That was almost 2 months ago.
120. It was in 125, which I'm looking back.
That was the day of the opera. That was literally the day before this in the story.
Yeah. What was 1 day ago?
I mean, the factory arc was like 3 months worth of episodes, which is less than a day. So
yeah, my head is getting bobbled in later. Yeah. All right. Well, Lukas apparently woke up yesterday. He says, well, relatively, he's not done recovering, but his life isn't on the line anymore. And she's like, it's wonderful. We have to go see him after work. It's amazing news. Thanks for telling us, March. All right, let's go. I'll make a quick detour to the lounge to get myself another cup of coffee. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he didn't sleep.
No, he straight up did not sleep. Because I think also in the when it shows the archives, it looks like it's like sunlight coming in. So that's morning light. Also, he's in his police uniform. He literally was at the theater, learned about Thalia and how she disappeared, went home, changed into his uniform, rolled back up to the police station, and chilled in the archives all night.
Probably. And he says, "Oh, I'll see you guys there." And now March and Lauren walk out, and March asks her, "How are you doing, Lauren?" She's like, "Oh, thanks, I'm fine for asking." Well, yeah, I'm fine, thanks for asking, March. I was finishing up my disposition this morning. Cooper seemed so eager to toss me out of the scene yesterday. I don't even know if he'll bother reading it. Which, you know, she's open about what we all picked up on.
Yeah.
Which it's funny, it's not, you know, with your coworkers, some of them you get along with, and some of them you don't get along with. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I think Mark says, well, he gets territorial with his cases. To be fair, regular officers have no business interrogating witnesses, so he could argue he didn't want to influence them. But if you ask me, he's afraid your deposition will have more insight of the case than he does. Ooh, yes, burn.
Yeah, I mean, where is the lie? And we know there is none because it's
Right?
not read, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like me being sus of this man aside. I like how much faith he has in Lauren, and like he knows that she should be a detective still. Like I like seeing him want to like foster that with her and try to defend her and stuff. Do I think that there are ulterior motives behind it? Yes, but it's just nice to see because yeah, she messed up and her getting demoted was probably warranted, but it's been like a year and a half at this point, and they know how valuable she is and stuff, but she's probably not going to be promoted anytime soon, given that Herman is super duper sus of her being Lune, which we know is true, so
appropriately so.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, it's great that he's affirming her, and that's the thing that makes it so like gut-wrenching when we're sus of him, because he's so nice, so we don't want him to be like a bad person.
Nah, but you know, like I would love for him to not be. If he isn't, I will gladly take that egg on my face, gladly. But that episode in the graveyard, come on, like you can't read that and think, yeah, no, that he is definitely like 100% innocent. Like, no, they include so many things that vague lies or like vague truths that could be misinterpreted and all that stuff, and it's just like,
well, I think if I recall correctly, at the time we did not pick up on that, because I think we only started thinking March was sus with more indications later on. And that episode we were all like, oh my gosh, March is so amazing. And I know because I wrote a whole like long essay about how March represents incrementalism versus the Phantom Scythe's radicalism, which will be hilariously ironic if he's the leader.
you know, I don't know if he's the leader, but you know, I think he could be at least apostle. He could be a leader. I don't know. I still think that I had a fever dream about the leader having a peg leg. I don't know if I keep misreading these panels. I need to keep going back. So that's what eliminated him in my mind. But it's like, what if I'm just dumb and I read it wrong?
Yeah,
but
that's it. I think some people said, I think it was the chair in the end.
Yeah, but it didn't look like a chair. Like I was by my friend. I was like she doesn't even read PH. I was like, does this look like a leg or a peg leg? She like scrolled up and scrolled down. She's like, that's a peg leg. I'm like, I know. But yeah, aside from that, March just he is nice. I would love if he wasn't suspicious or involved, but I don't know, the narrative just it makes too much sense for him to be like the guy on the inside, and he's so smart. He knows how the police works. He's probably the reason why certain spies who've been there before have been like found so easily and killed. Rip Harvey, and Rip, like, maybe he's the reason why Bella was able to kill Elvira Lloyd while she was being interrogated, because he told her how to get in easily, or like he just has that information in the past. Like, there's so many things, right? And I also remember you said that how at the time you didn't think that he, like, that scene in the graveyard was suspicious. I read that episode and I was immediately like, this man is sus. But yeah, that was before I fast passed. So you guys had gotten to that like 3 weeks before. And then by the time I got to it, I was like, this man is sus. I think everybody was like, yeah, no, he is. Like, people were like, obviously have more eyes on it because it's available to everyone. So people were just kind of like, oh, that is kind of suspicious. Oh no. So
well, Annabelle was suspicious, but I didn't think he would.
Who?
So we thought Annabelle, his wife, was, might have been killed because of something she did or whatever. But yeah, March was beyond our sight. So yeah, so Lauren did his, and she's like, at this current point, I'm pretty sure that I do. Happened right in front of my eyes. I'm sure I'll handle it well though. Mark's like, wow, the conviction in your voice almost makes me emotional.
Oh, he's such a dad. Oh, it's gonna suck when he turns out to be bad.
Or gray. And Lauren's like, I suppose I am guilty of not liking him very much. And he says, but generally, how are you, dear? Oh my gosh, it reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, dearie.
Help is on the way, dear. I love that movie. Oh my god. I'm gonna read him as like a muddled Scottish accent thing now.
Generally, how are you, dear? Since what happened to you?
Oh god. I would love if they adapt PH, because I know that they think it's British accents. Like, this man, he does look like he would have like maybe a more northern accent, or like one of the more regional accents that is not like proper like RP English.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Accents are great. I was like, oh well, I'm all right. It's healing. Could have been much worse. Thanks again for standing up to Herman the other day. Has he talked again about his suspicions? And he says no. Like I said, he's got too much on his plate. I don't doubt you have the skills to pull it off, though. Ooh, wow, okay.
What are you trying to say, Mike?
You just said it. Oh my god. That was pretty cool, in my opinion.
He's not dumb. Yeah, he's a detective. Of course he'd pick up on this, but he's just kind of like, Lune helped us out, but also, we don't know about his backstory. So, we know that he and Lauren's parents were friends, so could also link back to that, and him kind of like seeing her in a way as a surrogate daughter, even though he wasn't really involved in her growing up. I don't know. There's something. He's so nice with her, so particularly attentive.
So I think that he's being nice, but listen to his next line. I think it's very carefully constructed, and I think he is kind of pushing the envelope with her. She's like, what do you mean? And we see it's like focusing in on her, and she looks anxious, and she's like looking at him from the side eye. And he says, just take it as a compliment. Haha. Lune's work is impressive, and so was yours when you worked at my unit. Which, okay, let's wait. We're not gonna get to the next line, but the fact that he didn't say I meant it as a compliment. He said take it as a compliment. I think he meant it to see her reaction, and just to see, like, maybe to push, like, oh, I know something you don't know, or I know about you, or I don't know, because he didn't say, oh, I meant it as a compliment. That would have been a lie. He said, just take it as a compliment. That's my theory, okay?
I can see that, but also what does he have to gain by letting her know that he's suspicious of her, or like thinks it, right? Because it would arguably be better, because like, remember how the Phantom Scythe, like with the leader and Kieran, he was like, one of the apostles was like, should we like punish Purple Hyacinth for like doing all these things? And literally like, no, let him think that he's good, and then he'll show us what he like, we'll learn more because of it. Like I feel like March telling Lauren is like, why tell her? Like, or like at least give her that suspicion, because on the one hand it could be him just showing like, hey, listen, I'm a detective, I can figure this out, and kind of like, because him not figuring out would almost be more unbelievable in a way, because he's such a like well-established, very good detective as far as we know, head of the unit and everything. So yeah, him putting two and two together would probably make more sense than him not. But at the same time, it's like, if she knows about him, she might be a bit more wary. But then again, if he wanted to confirm that it was her, then that would be the way to do it, like you said. But if he already kind of knew, then why let her know that he knows? I don't know.
Yeah. So his next line is also interesting. So his next line, he says, the proof that you aren't Lune is there. There's no reason to doubt it. And it's a lie. March does not believe that. The proof.
Is that maybe a warning then?
Oh,
Like,
so it's benevolent. So he's trying to say, oh, like cover your tracks better.
yeah, maybe he's like, listen, there's some evidence. I'm not saying where it is, but there is some evidence that you might need to look at and get rid of, because that could be it. I could see that. That makes sense then. With the whole thing, it could be like, listen, I kind of think it, but also, does he know about her lie detecting ability?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I might read stuff,
he knew her from since she was a child. And knew her parents and everything. I assume, because we don't know this, I assume that her parents would have picked up on her ability from a very young age, like just how like Dylan knows. Be like, her parents know, Uncle Tristan kind of knows, but also doesn't really believe necessarily. So I don't know, they're friends with March when she was small. Maybe he saw it for himself in action, or like, and he's. But I don't think he's mentioned it. That's the thing. So this is just a headcanon, but I don't know. I think that he might have known, and then, or even just seeing her in the as a detective,
Wait, was she like, oh, he's lying?
Her blowing up at stake, like it doesn't make sense for her to do that unless it was like lies. But I don't know. What if he's got the ability too? Because that's the one thing they never explain, like the ability, which I like at this point I kind of accept as just a part of the narrative that kind of gets the ball rolling. I don't need it to be explained. I don't need other people to have abilities, but like it would be interesting if there were some sort of reason behind it, or like if other people have similar things. But I don't think I need it. But if it's there and well explained and everything, then that just kind of enriches the world a bit more. So sorry for that tangent.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in every other way, Purple Hyacinth is like a realistic world. This is the only thing that's a bit supernatural. She explains it in a very like prosaic way. Like she says, she hears the breathing, she hears the like a little bit of tone of voice, but it still has this element of being supernatural. Anyway, so Lauren's like, oh, I see. And then she thinks to herself, shit, he actually thinks it might be me. Yeah, Lauren, watch your back. And he says, anyway, I always thought it was stupid of Herman and the APD to want to send their goose to the golden eggs, to send their goose that lays the golden eggs to the abattoir. Actually, not look up abattoir.
I was trying to think of what that meant. Is that like butcher, but for geese?
Slaughterhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
could you tell that nobody like we're just like a French word? What is that?
It's used in England. It's from French abattre, in its literal sense to beat down, knock, slaughter.
That makes sense. A lot of English.
Batter probably comes from that word too. Like batter someone. Batter etymology. Battre, yeah. Old French battre, to beat, and from Latin batteur. Very cool.
Wish I could use my French ancestry to help, but alas, French was literally one of my worst subjects in high school.
I learned French in school. What? learn French in school, and I happen to like etymology, so I've been watching a lot of language videos lately.
Cool.
Shout out to Life Focus. Yeah, so he says, I wouldn't entertain Herman searches even if he were to pursue anything. So, okay, so we know interesting things. So this statement is very, okay, so it's a little confusing. So it's not a lie. So if we interpret it that like he's on APD side, right? He wants to know, like, you know, whatever Lune is investigating, you know, they're investigating to take down the PS, then he's like, yeah, I'm happy that Lune is doing this, and why would I want to stop them? But if he's PS, why would, so his statement, should it be a lie if he's PS and he doesn't want Lune's work to continue? Or is he just saying, oh, it was stupid of Herman, right? So like he thinks Herman is stupid, even if like he doesn't agree with, like he doesn't want Lune to uncover the PS, like he's like, well, Herman is stupid, so that's why it's not a lie. Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where it could go either way, which kind of, it's Schrodinger's cat, but in a man. Schrodinger's March. He can either be good or either be bad, but we don't know, so he's both at the same time.
That is very, I like it. I like that.
Yeah, I like whenever things happen that it's like we don't know, I'm always like Schrodinger's insert name. Ever since I learned about that experiment, I was like, oh, so this is gonna be like a thing that I use for everything now.
I'm putting that down so that we I remember I want that to be the clip.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so he said like he would not, even if Herman would want to pursue it, like he's not going to help him out. So that's kind of also telling Lauren like he has her back. And Lauren says, I couldn't agree more, and she thinks in her head, thank you, March. He's not lying, he's got my back. Which I don't know.
You think?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I don't know about that.
My suspicions of that man are so high.
He could be in the PS and still have Lauren's back. I mean, it's very possible, but
yeah, I mean, we have Dawkins as being sus too, but he definitely has Lauren's back. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like,
well, you know, we haven't seen Dawkins and Tristan since that episode where, you know, Dawkins fed Tristan a croissant, and I'm still sure that croissant was poisoned, because I just don't believe that Lauren made that croissant.
Yeah, no. If there's one French word I always say properly, croissant, because that's how my grandmother says it, and I feel like if I say it differently, my ancestors will turn in their graves and curse me for eternity. So yeah, whenever I would be like talking to my like friends in the US, they'd be like, say it properly. I'm like, I am saying it properly.
Croissant. It has an R, but they say the
I don't know, it might just be her particular French accent, but yeah.
I don't know. I was in France. I did not pay attention to croissant specifically. I didn't eat any when I was there.
You should have. Ooh.
Well, yeah, I keep kosher, so like that was
the thing.
I went to the kosher section, and I could have bought like I went to like French kosher bakeries, but I just bought bread. Like I was not interested in.
I mean,
can you believe it? I went to like French bakery and I didn't buy any pastries.
Yeah, but to be fair, French bread is amazing, so I don't blame you.
It wasn't French bread. It was like a sourdough kind of loaf, which was also fine.
Still probably good. Like
all French bread in Toulouse, actually, not in Paris. I had like French bread in Toulouse. So.
Nice. Oh,
but you know what? It's like French bread here. It wasn't any different.
There's a video I've been meaning to watch. I love how we're just talking about bread right now. There's a video that popped up on my feed from a guy I watched, and he was like, why is bread in France so much better? Or it's like, why is American bread awful? And he's like, in France, it's like, why is their bread so much better? And I haven't watched that, so after this, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a foodie. That's all I can do. Like I was happy to look at like the pretty pastries, but I was not interested really in eating it. Which I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why. Maybe next time. So we're at the meeting, and Herman is looking at the officers, and he says that sums up the new restrictions we will need to escalate over the upcoming days as per royal orders. Yeah, tensions keep rising in every district, and people count on us to ensure their safety. And Lauren and Kim are looking at each other, and Kim's like, yeah, the tension arises, but for very different reasons if you're highborn versus not. So this is like kind of like the second time that we've heard like the officers themselves, or like the main characters, express, dissent with the rules of that they're enforcing. So it's nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah, like because like it does kind of show that the royals are just completely out of touch with what is really needed in the city, and the officers who are on the ground, and like Kim in particular, came from a middle class family, can see it even more plainly than like a lot of the other people. But yeah, they're the cops. They have to deal with the day to day. They know what the people are feeling a lot of the time. So yeah, they're kind of like, this is not a good idea, and the poor people have completely different reasons than the rich people, and different, like the divide between the two is just getting wider. You can see it.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, the more they say, the worse it gets. March says, I'm worried that the civil perception of the new measures will not be very favorable. Everyone is scared, but the measures affect those who struggle to get by the most. Oh my God, so why are you enforcing them? You might be headed.
I mean, we can't really say anything. A lot of the stuff that happens in our world right now, it goes the exact same way.
Right. That's why it's so realistic. Right. Like it's literally, I think it's, I am positive that Soph and F are very, very influenced by the current, news. So yeah. And he says we might be headed towards more opposition than compliance with this. And then Herman says they have been thought through and decided by the Royal Council. It's like, yeah, sure, they're the most thoughtful and rational beings.
Yeah, there's no infighting with them at all. They are completely 100% caring for the people and their needs above all else.
Yeah. No. And Herman says we are in a situation of crisis, and the population will need to understand that these measures are exceptional and for their own safety. Whatever, man. And this random lady says, any news on the searches for the explosives? And he asks Detective March to come up, and he does. And then he says, investigation units have across all districts have joined their forces and are collaborating with the National Security Agency, which is another entity we never heard of.
I know, I was about to say, like, how many levels of just, enforcement law and stuff. It kind of reminds me like America. We got like CIA, FBI, all these different like branches that are like above just the police, and yeah, right. It's like, new people.
I believe it's the British like kind of version of the FBI, right? No, it's NSA it's in America.
Yeah, NSA is US, I think.
What is it
I know
called? Scotland Yard.
MI6? I don't know. James Bond logic.
Yeah, no, I did not. I don't watch so much British stuff. But yeah, so he continues, we haven't found any hideout yet, but we will scavenge every square meter of the city and its surroundings if we have to. And then he says, we're still lacking reliable sources of information from within the Phantom Scythe. Lie. Marchie. Are you the reliable source of information from the Phantom Scythe?
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Okay, so let me say, it is possible to play devil's advocate. It is possible. We know that the police has spies in the Phantom Scythe. That's a known thing. The royals say that, the police say that. So maybe that's what he's referring to, like the legit spies within the Phantom Scythe, right? The double agents.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what he means, but he's just not going to tell the public. Maybe it's a red herring.
Maybe. It could also be like, I don't know, I thought of this and it low-key was like, wouldn't that be interesting? It's like, what if March is pulling a Snape and being a double agent? So like in the Phantom Scythe, but in the police to pretend like that, but he in real life he's actually on the side of the police.
I like that. That would be great. Okay, that would solve all our problems. March could still be nice and sus at the same time.
Schrodinger's March.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. I like that theory. I'm going with it. March is Snape. A nicer version of Snape.
Yeah, a nicer, not awful version of Snape. Love Alan Rickman though. Rip.
Yep. Rested. Oh, that's so funny. I thought you said Rick. And then
well,
oh wait, that's what you meant. I guess in my head I never say Rip, I just say rest in peace. But yeah. So Lauren is like, wait, what was that? And then like they continue talking, but Lauren is aghast. She is shook. She doesn't even hear what they're saying. She's just focusing in on March and his lie.
imagine if like what they're talking about now actually has more information, but she's just not paying attention.
Yeah,
Uh, God.
I'm excited. I want Lauren to be more aware and alert around March. I'd be very happy if we pick up on his thread a little more and focus on a little more like March's susness or just what he's doing with his life.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that interaction they had before the meeting, I feel is a really good segue into her being a bit more suspicious of trying to get more information. And we also know that she's going to use her detective skills to help Will out with his issue. So maybe that might uncover something that helps her with her issue, because it has to do with Rafael and stuff. Maybe she'll learn something about that, or something else completely different that we just don't have the connection to yet.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with all research coming to cool stuff. Yeah. So now we switch to look like they're on patrol outside. It's a dreary London day, I guess. Nice buildings, but sucky weather.
Still snow on the ground, and
oh yeah, that's snow. I didn't think about it.
I thought it was snow. Like you could see it on the corners of like the eaves on the buildings and in the streets.
How do you know architectural terms? I don't know any.
That might be even a completely wrong term, so don't at me on that. That just felt like the correct word, because it's where the eaves of a building, and like where you get the term eavesdroppers is because people would hide in the eaves and listen to people, so that's where you get the term from.
God, I just kind of thought it was like eardropper and then got like contorted. But yeah, it's the part of the roof that projects out horizontally beyond the side of the structure. So like, yeah, anything coming out. Okay, I think you're right.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you'll learn about languages, you'll learn about etymology, you'll learn about architecture here. But
and bread.
Bread. So Lauren looks at Kim and she's like, so what do you want to tell me last night? And Kim's like, oh, nothing. I don't even remember. And she's saying the truth.
To be fair, a lot happened last night.
Right.
So she just might not remember in the moment, and then like 2 seconds later she's gonna be like, oh wait, oh no, I do remember. Get that in the next episode, maybe, based on how this one ends. Who knows?
Yeah, and then she just slaps Lauren on the butt, because that's what she does. And it's hilarious and very funny. I like it. Fun picture. And so like, what was that for? Kim just laughs and runs ahead. And Lauren looks at her. And then now we have a passage of time, and Lauren and Kim are again running in the street, but now they're dressed in civilian clothes. And she says, anything you plan to do before we meet at the hospital to see Randall? And Lauren's like, there is nothing I look forward to more than being unconscious. Why is she talking about being unconscious?
Because she wants to like sleep.
Oh, okay, great. I jump on my bed and fall asleep midair. Got it. And then Lauren asked her, would you mind a detour to the Allendale Park? And she's like, we walked all day and you want to make me walk more? And I like the whole lighting and the coloring, because it's like, what's the word, dusk. So it's like very like the blue, hazy blue, and like pearly pinkish is coming out. It's really nice.
And the little that we see their breaths in front of them. It reminds me, because I just remembered the lighting of this episode so specifically because it had one of my favorite screenshots of Kieran. It's when Lauren is being walked home by that one detective, and Kieran's like, I have information that will clear you. It's very similar lighting vibes, and I like it.
Yeah, the winter also, like a winter walk.
But they picked winter specifically because they'd get all these nice like weather shots as well. It also fits the the kind of like darker, dreary mood.
Right. Started out fall time, no? Right.
It started out like toward the end of fall, I believe, sometime in November or October, November, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has a timeline somewhere, I think.
Right. Yeah. And she's like, isn't there a single ounce of pity for my poor maimed ankle within you? It's like the same one that's been healed for a week. Fine, anything for your beautiful pensive eyes, darling. And it's like, but why now though? But why though? And Lauren says, we need to talk. And Kim looks at her. Yeah, I guess we do.
What are they gonna talk about?
The boyfriend. No.
No, it's gonna be
I think,
serious stuff.
I think that they're gonna talk about like factory. What happened at the factory.
Maybe yeah, because I didn't Will say like Kim was like concerned as well, but she's better at like hiding it and like whatever. So I would love for them to have like a candid talk about like what happened, the impact it had. When I first read this, I kind of had the idea that maybe Lauren would tell Kim about Kieran, but there's no reason for her to do that right now, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, if it does happen, like, okay, but yeah, I think this, I like the idea of it being more for them to have like a real conversation about what happened, because they really haven't talked about it. Like, Lauren talked about it with Will, but she's never talked about it with Kim, and I feel like Kim tries to hide it. Maybe Kim will talk about like some of her stuff with therapy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the therapist will come up. My suspicion.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, good to have some conversation. I really will go straight into that scene of them talking, or we're gonna switch to hop around.
Probably gonna like be them like walking into the park and having the conversation, or like the way there. But I don't know. I feel like it's probably gonna be the conversation is gonna be most of the episode, or a good chunk of it at least.
Yeah, same.
But yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite panel this episode?
Let's see. I really just scrolling through the whole thing. I like seeing disheveled Will, but him being happy, or like him smiling. But I realized that this is probably my favorite panel. It's them with her talking about her pensive eyes, because I like the bit of the cartoony, but it's also got that beautiful ethereal lighting in the background. So it's best of both worlds. And I also like the inclusion again of the pensive eyes thing, because we haven't seen that joke in a while. So nice to see it make a return. What about you?
So it's probably pretty easy to tell my favorite panel, because I always choose it for the cover pretty much. But the one where the one where Kim is slapping Lauren's butt.
That one's fun. I also really like the panel of them when you see them for the first time in their civilian clothes, walking to meet to go by Lukas. I don't know, I like Lauren's coat and everything, and I don't know, the Kim kind of skipping ahead with a bag of chips in her hand. I just noticed she's holding a bag of chips. That gonna be for Lukas? Maybe it is. That'd be nice. But yeah, I don't know. I like the vibes of this last chunk of panels.
Right, they look like happy friends, like carefree, just doing something nice, happy to see their friend wake up. Like, they just look like connected, no drama, no, like nothing, no one threatening them. They're not like running away from someone who wants to kill them.
Yeah, all around good vibes.
Yeah, maybe I should make that the cover.
Make the cover whatever you want it to be. It's your podcast.
Yep, it's cute. Well, any other thoughts before we close up?
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I like the vibes of this episode. It gave me very season 1 vibes. I liked seeing Lauren interacting with Will one-on-one and March one-on-one, even though the man is super sus. And then her and Kim. I feel like I have like, obviously I love my boy Kieran. I love him. Every time he's in an episode, I love it. But I really like these episodes where it kind of allows the narrative to breathe a bit. Because you do need those episodes where it's kind of clearly just transitioning to something else, maybe like having information be shared and stuff, but it's nothing really happening, like plot-wise. I feel like it's a really good change of pace. It allows you to kind of get a moment of rest. You don't feel like there's just something happening all the time and you get exhausted reading it. So yeah, I like the cool vibes, like the friendship vibes, and I just like seeing them having these one-on-one interactions with each other.
Yeah, I completely agree about like the needing the rest. Like, you can't just have it like climax all the time. Like you have to have the ups and the downs, right? It doesn't feel like you've earned the drama unless you have some normality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. You need to establish like the connections between the characters and the day-to life in order for like the drama that you want to insert into the relationships. It has to feel real. It has to feel like they actually have a relationship. So yeah, I agree. All right. Well, this was fun. It was great analyzing it.
Yeah, thank you again for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was awesome. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
See you.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Jenny, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Jo, Rochelle, Saucy Toggles, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Emilda, Esther, I'm Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Duranda, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, Teresa, Mrs. Gastaldo, Tatiana, Louisa, Rachel, and Cece Moon. Your support is truly appreciated.